Hello and welcome everyone. I am Greg Zarko and this is my week 3 presentation for MPA 590 Organizational Theory. This week we have been asked to identify two themes that run through our textbooks. Um, and it's hard to think of a better way to start, a better place to start than efficiency. Um, the second theme that I will be discussing is motivation. And then finally I will be discussing the impact of those two themes into my task force. One of the two themes that I will be discussing is efficiency. Max Weber and Frederick Taylor both discuss efficiency in the organization. Taylor believed that by applying the scientific method to the workforce, he can get better labor results and that they would benefit both the employer and the employee by dividing the workload into smaller tasks and that the employees could specialize in, thus resulting in less waste of time and resources. The book uses a shoemaker. One person can cut the leather, the other person can cut the holes, thread the laces, and this actually could make them more efficient um, because a person who specializes in cutting the leather now creates less waste because they're more proficient in their task. Max Weber created efficiency on the administrative side of the organization by assigning fixed official duties to departments. Each office could again become more efficient by creating less waste, resources, and time. Weber believed that his ideal type of bureaucracy would consist of fixed official duties that would clearly define duties with authority to make decisions, a hierarchy of authority, meaning that each lower office has a higher office to report to, and it starts from the top to the bottom, a system of rules that apply to how work is to be done and what decisions can be made, technical expertise career service, um, meaning tenure, or eliminating the worry of the public servant or the employee about job security, and written documentation, proper documentation of decisions, rules, and any kind of administrative decisions. The article that I found focuses on efficiency in the federal hospitals in the United States. And this has been a growing problem since the 80s. Now that people are living longer, healthcare costs is on the rise. And so efficiency in the medical system has become a priority for not just the each individual person, but for the national government. Um, it's something that continues to be an issue, and it's something that will continue to be an issue moving forward because people are living longer, better medicines. So I tied that up into my theme. The second theme that I will be discussing that I found throughout the book is motivation. Um, And there's a popular saying that good employees don't leave bad jobs, they leave bad managers. And this is pretty much what Mary Parker Follett is stating in her writings, The Giving Orders. Our textbook defines motivation as an internal force that leads employees to comply with organizational directives and carry out their responsibility in an acceptable manner. She specifically states that you cannot get people to do things satisfactory, at least, by ordering them or by extorting them, which was usually the case during Taylor's time. Foley believed that you can motivate employees by being supportive, respectful, attentive to their individual needs, and rewarding the employees with praise and approval. So this leads us to her four motivational strategies, which was legal compliance, instrumental rewards, job identification, and goal congruence. Follett's theories go against Taylor's because, in a way, Taylor's methods mirrored Darwinism. In Taylorism, if an employee couldn't keep up, they would be replaced by somebody who can. If an employee is not motivated or worse, disgruntled, then the employee may engage in less constructive behaviors. And according to Daniel Katz and Robert Kahn, if an employee is not performing their work dependably, then an organization cannot ensure organizational functioning. Um, Also, in prior classes, we talked about Douglas McGregor and his human side of enterprise, and I believe that applies to motivation because he talks about the X and Y employee. I don't think we're there yet in this class, so I will leave that for later. But the article that I found test a hypothesis about the effects of different types of motivation and the social communications. And it concludes that motivation is significantly associated with managers um, whose job involvement is greater than not, and thus affects the overall organization effectiveness. So how do I apply efficiency and motivation to my task force? Um, so efficiency to my task force uh, is key because with so many departments working towards one goal, which is to provide services during an emergency situation to those in need. Each department needs to know what their role is and know who they report um, to create less waste of time and confusion on the field. When seconds can be the difference between life and death or another type of emergency, um, it is key that each person knows what their task is. As far as motivation, so motivation is key when preparing for these kind of situations. Um, and while it may seem like emergencies happen daily, and they could be, um, the individual person who's part of this task force needs to be self-motivated to be ensured that their equipment is properly secured or in place or working properly, or if they're in the fire department, they need to make sure that they're in shape and the ability to carry someone who may need some assistance. So motivation is key for everybody in the department, because when the time comes that the task force needs to be called, then people, I've heard the expression of move with a purpose. Um, and that's something that is important when out in the field in responding to this kind of situation. All right, that concludes my presentation for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Um, I appreciate your time. Good luck this week, and God bless.